a tweet he posted on Twitter.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Okay, so it looks like we're live and going. Let me double check the feed here.
Yeah, I gotta
Get this. If I
drink
can
some
hear it.
water. I'm gonna quickly mute and blow my nose real quick before we start.
All right, sweet. Yeah, it's working for me.
All right. Cool.
Let me hit the live button so I can see what's going on. All right, ready whenever you are.
Do you want me to start it off?
Does not matter.
How about you start it off?
I
think you
will
should.
start it off. Okay, and here we go. Welcome to Games and Gimmicks, the podcast discussing video games, professional wrestling, and everything in between. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
I'm
New Year.
Huffy, alongside the Poor Ass Gamer. We are here for the first podcast of 2017.
Yeah.
And what a way to start off 2017 by talking about the PlayStation Plus games for December 2016. So we didn't live up to our word to be on time with this one, but hey, you gotta give us a little slack. The holidays and all that good stuff just makes things busy. But nevertheless, we are here and we're gonna talk about 2 games today.
We are
December.
We are here for the PlayStation Plus members that download the games but don't play them right away. So, you know, if you're just
Yes.
adding them to your library, then you're good. You're good. We've been saying that all along. So yeah, I think we are a little bit bad about, you know, reviewing these on time within the month, but at the same time, you gotta devote a lot of time, and given this month, I don't think any of us were really willing to take a ton of time away for 2 more games. So
That is true. That is true.
So while that is one case there too as well, we have Stories: The Path of Destinies is what we're going to be reviewing here first. Now,
Game
Eric, did you have a chance to play this at all?
I did, and you know what? I had a chance to play both. I made up for my shortcomings last time, so I was able to play both. So yes, I did play a little bit of Stories: The Path of Destinies.
Okay. Cool. So I'm glad that you had a chance to actually play this. So I'm gonna get it started, but I guess since because last time we weren't able to play the games themselves, or at least not right away. I'm gonna have you talk about it, and I'll start playing a little bit there first.
Okay, all right. So once again, if you are watching via YouTube, you're going to see a little bit of the gameplay action here. If you're listening to this on Podomatic or iTunes, feel free to check out our YouTube page so you can see some of the gameplay as we're talking here. So this game is a hoot. I got a sense of comedy out of it. I think it's a little bit of a I don't want to say spoof. Spoof isn't the right word. But, you know, having a little fun with the genre of kind of medieval storytelling,
fantasy,
ancient and fantasy type things. Is this considered an RPG? Maybe not really.
It follows within that realm. I guess we should explain like the core component of this game. You're kind of seeing it right now on screen, and I think that's one of the coolest part of this game is that it unfolds like a choose your own adventure, basically.
Yes, that's what I was trying to look for. It is, you know, if you grew up with the choose your own adventure books, that's exactly what this is. You play, you know, the levels of the game, and you'll get to certain story parts, and you get to choose which direction you go next, which I think is spectacular. Very cool. Very cool aspect of this game.
Right now, you're seeing on screen is that the player's given an open book, and you get 2 storylines, and there are multiple storylines within one storyline. So that's kind of cool. Is that I was thinking about it a few days ago. You could go back, you could play through this game, and choose the same storyline if you wanted to, and then choose different separate ones, because you get like I think there's 3 or 4 usually in one full playthrough. At least as far as the choices in between. So you could theoretically play a bunch of storylines, and I'm going to reveal here too as well, these separate little cards that they have on the choices, these are all separate stories that you can play through. So I thought that was really cool too, is that they're revealing like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
there's like 21, 22 stories in this whole thing. Actually,
Right.
24 stories, and not including all the other things that are revealed from the main story itself too as well. So I thought this was really cool. Now, what did you think about like the way it played? We're gonna jump into that here next.
Yeah, once we get into some of that gameplay, I thought it was hmm, unique in a sense. It's a style that we've seen quite a bit of
Yeah.
from a lot of these Plus games, especially this past year. It's that kind of top-down view, the top-down playing, which is nothing wrong with that, but it just like I kind of got that sense at first, like, oh, I've seen this before,
Yep.
done this before, but to me and what I was playing, it was pretty simplistic. It was
Yeah.
easy to pick up. There is a lot of depth to it, a lot of gaining new abilities and upgrades for swords, because certain swords unlock certain doors, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So if I remember right, there was no, you're not jumping at all.
No.
You're strictly walking, top down view,
Yep.
which is going to pop up here in a minute. But I thought it was very easy to pick up, a very easy game to get
Yeah.
going with.
I felt that too. It's at first you kind of look at it and you're like I feel like like this year we've seen so many of these type of games that it really, you feel like you just keep seeing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And I really think what this game actually has is it has this attractive dialogue track that kind of goes across everything. With it's got this kooky voice kind of thing that's that you can kind of hear. But I think what's interesting about it too as well is that like stylistically it does have it has a pretty look. It's not a bad looking game by any conclusion there. And I think like if you were to say don't judge a book by its cover, like this would be the one time like I would say generally this you probably should do that, because this game has some very revealing fun parts to it. But yeah, it is like initially where it feels like you're like, I've already played this, I don't really give a crap,
Yep. Yeah, it's I think I'm still, not to deviate from talking about this game specifically, but more as a general PS Plus thing that I notice. We've mentioned this before. I kind of want to get back to where we have one of the games be a little more mainstream, or a little bit of a bigger title that had come out a few years ago or something or other, and then get one of these in between. But for the last good while, it's been a lot of these different out there. I guess I would, some of them are independent games or whatever you want to call it. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to complain. We're getting them for free. But again, I'd like to see a little more variety in the, I guess, size of the game, you could say.
At the same time, keep in mind that, like, we always say, like, we get it for free. But, we don't really get it for free. We still have to pay for the subscription itself. And
for me, the biggest
payoff
payoff for having this membership anyways is the discounts for games as they come along. We get some crazy good discounts on it, and especially mainstream games. You get some really, really good discounts. So here's some of the combat. I thought the combat was really cool. It reminded me of a little bit of Arkham. Style of Arkham. You're fighting all these people, and you have to keep an eye out for the ones that are going to hit you, because you have to block it and then continue to attack. So it definitely turned into those. It's like you're floating back and forth between different enemies as you're fighting. So I really enjoyed the combat in this game.
Yeah, and they also give you like a little reward score at the end of it too as well, so it kind of plays into that stuff there too. And I think what's kind of attractive about this game, or at least overall impressions about it, is that when you factor in, if you give this game a chance and you recognize it's revealing a really well thought out game plan by these designers. That I think honestly it was something that I didn't expect, and I think that it's a lot more fun. But it is something that like I question whether or not what's my total devotion to some of these games. I feel like with the amount of time that you really do have, even as a gamer, and like even just, you know, in your life in general, with new things happening and just,
Right.
you know, enjoying life in general, it feels like, you know, man, I just don't have enough time for any of these games really when it comes down to
Right.
it. But
Well,
yeah,
and especially when you have, you know, the ones throughout the year that come up, you know, the actual big games that you pay, you know, full price for that you've been
right,
waiting to play, that ends up, you know, taking up your time. You know,
right.
that's kind of what's happening with me right now. So, you know, as I played this game, while I was having a good old time for the little bit that I was, you know, playing it, I honestly don't think I don't really have an incentive to go back and finish it or
Yeah,
keep going. I
yeah.
got my like little fix with it. I'm like, oh, that was neat, and that's probably going to be it.
And that's the
It's
unfortunate
nothing with
part,
the.
you
Hmm.
know, is that I feel like sometimes with these subscription models and how this stuff is presented to us, you know, do you remember the old school days of like it was just word of mouth in the old days? It was just like, you
Yep.
know, in the internet and like reading a forum or something like that too. And there's something lost in how all this stuff is delivered to us now, because it's just like, had this game been released at the right time, and you know the quiet there was like ever a quiet time or something like that too, but you know, had this game been released at a time when, you know, I feel like more people would be willing to enjoy it, would
Hmm.
it be more successful, or does it even need to be in a subscription model where, you know, basically everybody gets it for free as long as they paid for membership? So
Right.
I do worry about, you know, the state of how games are getting a little oversaturated, but this game is a, you know, a great, I think a great idea, and I think it all comes together pretty well. But I would like to see almost like this idea used by other game designers, basically. Um,
Hmm.
you know, like have them. I think, you know, Mass Effect is one that you could, you know, say is basically, you haven't played that game before, but I'm pretty sure you haven't played that game, right?
No, no, I haven't.
Um, but Mass Effect is kind of like a, you know, third person open world sort of game, so like I can see how this would apply to those kind of things. But yeah, this definitely super casual game, and I don't think like if you're gonna invest a lot of time in it, great. I still think it's a give it a shot to most people if you're not playing anything
Hmm.
else. um, but yeah, definitely I think this is a really fun game, and it had an interesting concept.
Hmm. Yep, yep. I enjoy it. I think the comedy and the narrative was really nice. That kept it flowing.
Yeah.
I think if it was more of if the story was taken in more of a serious light, I probably would not enjoy it too much. Because
Mm,
and right off the bat, this isn't the kind of the type
serious.
of game I don't really get into the fantasy games too much. Of course, I haven't really played too many to really get into anything like that. But the comedy I thought was pretty neat. It had
Yeah.
some really funny lines in the dialogue that I thought was great. But I agree with you. I absolutely say give it a shot. You know, it's a quick fix for something. And yeah, if you do find yourself devoting more time to it to finish it out, then more power to you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think that, you know, I guess we'll leave it at that. That's two give it a shots. I'm gonna play this last sequence of this game here, so people can watch that. Um, so just to give everybody a little bit of extra information here too as well, we also have we're gonna have a lot more reviews coming on the website there too as well at gamesandgimmicks.com. So feel free to check that out. We have the Last Guardian review on there, which I just finished
Hmm.
yesterday. Pretty fantastic game overall. But I won't get
Hmm.
into the nitty gritty of that. Feel free to just visit our website for that.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're going to take a break here, basically, and we're going to switch over to our other game, which
Yes. What's up
is
next?
Invisible Ink, which was a very
Invisible
interesting
ink.
game.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with it, so we're going to switch over to that in just a moment here, and then we'll see you in a moment.
All right.